If you believe that just being a good person will lead to success in this world, you are making a huge mistake. The truth is, the world doesn't reward kindness. It often takes advantage of it. Take a look around you. The kindest, most generous people are often the ones who end up exhausted, betrayed, and left wondering, why does this always happen to me? Think about it. How many times have you helped someone, trusted someone, or been completely honest, only to find yourself ignored, used, or discarded? Society tells us that if we're good and honest, everything will fall into place. But the reality is much harsher. Those who truly hold power in this world understand one key thing. Being good is simply not enough. You also have to be smart, strategic, and aware. When you hear the name Machiavelli, what comes to mind? Deception, manipulation, maybe even cruelty. But those who really understand his teachings know that he wasn't advocating for evil. Instead, he was revealing a hard truth about power. The world doesn't respect kindness, it respects power. People will only tolerate you as long as you serve a purpose for them. If you are always good, always giving, always trusting, you will be used and eventually discarded. This isn't just a theory, it's a reality that plays out every day, everywhere, in politics, in business, in relationships, and in our daily lives. Machiavelli warned us about this. If you're only good and not smart, you become easy prey. You become a tool for others who will use your goodness for their own gain. And the worst part, they won't hesitate to discard you once you're no longer useful. So, the question is, will you continue to let the world walk all over you, or will you finally understand how power really works? Because the sooner you realize that just being good isn't enough, the sooner you'll start playing the game of life the right way. So, here's the big question. Will you keep being good and let the world walk all over you? Or will you finally take control and learn how power really works? If you think strategy is something only bad people use, you're already behind the game. Machiavelli's darkest lesson isn't about being cruel. It's about protecting yourself from being naive. Let's dive in. We've all heard the same advice growing up. Be kind, be honest, and good things will come your way. Society paints this picture of morality being the golden path to success, like a fairy tale where good people are rewarded and bad people are punished. But here's the harsh reality. It doesn't work like that. Take a moment and think. How many times have you seen genuinely good-hearted people being overlooked, exploited, or even betrayed? The employee who stays late, works tirelessly, and never complains, but never gets promoted. The friend who's always there for others, always giving, always forgiving, but gets taken for granted. The partner who loves selflessly, only to be tossed aside when their kindness is mistaken for weakness. We've been taught to equate kindness with strength, but in the real world, kindness alone is often an open invitation for others to take advantage of you. Those who are too trusting, too open, and too eager to please become easy targets. They give and give, expecting fairness in return, but fairness is not a given. It's a social construct that is often ignored when power and self-interest come into play. Does this mean kindness is useless? Absolutely not. It means that kindness without intelligence is a liability. This is exactly what Machiavelli warned about. He wasn't telling people to throw away morality. Instead, he understood that morality alone won't guarantee success. A person who is purely good, without any strategy, becomes a sheep among wolves. Machiavelli's belief was simple. True power lies in balance. A person who is purely good will eventually be devoured by those who are cunning, but someone who is ruthless without reason will eventually fall too. The key is to be kind, but never naive. Understand that goodness should be paired with awareness, and fairness should never come at the cost of your own survival. The world doesn't reward blind virtue. It rewards those who play the game with their eyes wide open. Machiavelli's most unsettling lesson is also the most important. Humans are selfish, fickle, and cruel when necessary. No matter how much we want to believe that people are fundamentally good, history and experience tell us otherwise. When survival, power, or self-interest is on the line, morality becomes flexible. Take politics, for example. Leaders promise change, justice, and ideals. But behind closed doors, they strike ruthless deals to secure their power. In business, companies present themselves as ethical and caring, yet they will fire thousands of employees or crush small competitors if it means more profit. In personal relationships, people may say they value loyalty and honesty, until an opportunity arises where betraying those values benefits them. This isn't to say everyone is evil, but it highlights a crucial point. Self-preservation often outweighs virtue. Machiavelli understood that morality isn't a fixed principle, it's a strategy. Some people follow moral codes because they truly believe in them, while others only follow them when it suits their own interests. This is why those who rely solely on honesty, generosity, or fairness without understanding human nature often end up at the mercy of those who are more strategic. So, think about it. Will you continue to be good and get taken advantage of, or will you learn how to navigate the world with power and intelligence? The game is waiting, and if you're not strategic, you'll be left behind. There's a vital difference between seeing morality as a personal belief and using it as a survival tool. When you treat morality as an absolute principle, you often struggle when reality hits hard. On the other hand, those who see morality as part of a larger strategy, as something to be used wisely and strategically, stand a much better chance of thriving. This is exactly what Machiavelli was talking about when he wrote about power. He didn't tell people to be evil. He encouraged them to see the world for what it truly is, not how they wish it to be. When you understand human nature, you stop expecting fairness from those who benefit from taking advantage of you. You stop thinking that good intentions alone will shield you from harm. Most importantly, you begin to make decisions based on clear understanding, not blind trust. In life, it's not just about who you are, it's also about how others see you. People don't always follow the most moral, the smartest, or even the most capable person. Instead, they follow those who appear strong, decisive, and in control. History proves this over and over again. Charismatic leaders rise to power not necessarily because they are right, but because they project authority and confidence. In the business world, CEOs who speak with confidence, who command attention, are often trusted, even when their decisions are no better than others. Socially, the person who walks into a room with self-assurance is often seen as more important, more interesting, and more worthy of respect. Perception is power. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. He said that a ruler doesn't need to be truly virtuous. He just needs to appear virtuous. The ruler doesn't need to be ruthless all the time, but when they are, it must appear justified and necessary. The ruler doesn't need to be loved, but they must never be seen as weak. It's all about how you present yourself, the way you carry yourself, your confidence, your body language, your tone of voice, your presence, determines how others treat you. Those who hesitate, doubt themselves, or constantly seek validation are quickly dismissed. On the other hand, those who act with confidence, even when they might be wrong, often find people willing to follow them. This is why the most powerful individuals, whether they are politicians, business leaders, or even those who manipulate, are experts at controlling their image. They know that power doesn't always come from having the right answers. It comes from making others believe that you do. The world doesn't reward silent competence. It rewards those who control their perception. If you let others define how they see you, you will always be at their mercy. But if you learn how to project strength, command respect, and shape how people perceive you, you will hold power even before you take any action. The game of life is all about perception. When you master it, you master everything. Information is power. Those who reveal too much make themselves vulnerable. In today's world, people are obsessed with sharing, oversharing to be precise. Social media, conversations, even casual interactions are filled with people exposing their thoughts, plans, and weaknesses. But Machiavelli had a very different view. A wise ruler does not reveal all his thoughts. Why? Because the moment you expose everything about yourself, you lose control. The more people know about you, the easier it is for them to manipulate, predict, or undermine you. Every unnecessary detail you reveal, your fears, ambitions, insecurities, becomes a potential weapon against you. Consider this in negotiations. The person who speaks the most often loses leverage. In friendships, the one who always seeks validation ends up being disrespected. In business, revealing all your strategies too early allows competitors to outmaneuver you. People who over-explain or feel the need to justify their actions constantly put themselves in a weaker position. They give away their intentions, making it easier for others to anticipate and counter their moves. The most powerful individuals in history were often the most unpredictable, not because they were erratic, but because they controlled the flow of information. They spoke when necessary, never revealed more than required, and left people guessing. This created an aura of mystery and authority. Think of leaders who command respect effortlessly. They don't rush to explain themselves. They don't share their every thought. Instead, they let others wonder, let others assume, and let others chase after their approval. Speak less, observe more. The less you say, the more you learn about others while keeping yourself in control. Avoid seeking validation. Needing approval from others makes you dependent on their opinions. Silence forces people to respect your presence. Be intentional with your words. When you do speak, make it count. If every word matters, people will listen more attentively. Master the art of mystery. Keep your future moves and personal thoughts private. Let people see only what you choose to show. Machiavelli understood that power is not just in actions but in perception, and the most powerful perception is the one people can never fully figure out. What is too available is not valued. This is a truth that applies to everything: money, time, opportunities, and even people. The more accessible something is, the less people appreciate it. Yet most people believe that always being present, always giving, and always saying yes will make them more liked, respected, and indispensable. But in reality, it does the opposite. The person who is always available becomes predictable. The one who always gives without limits is taken for granted. The one who never sets boundaries is treated as an option, not a priority. Think about it. Employees who always say yes to extra work rarely get promoted. They just get more work. Friends who always make time for others often find that their own needs are ignored. The partner who constantly chases in a relationship often ends up being undervalued. Machiavelli understood this principle well. Respect is built by maintaining an air of mystery and control. If you are always around, always giving, and always saying yes, you lose your perceived value. The greatest leaders, thinkers, and rulers knew how to use absence as a tool. When you step back strategically, people begin to miss you. When you speak less but with more impact, your words carry more weight. When you give selectively rather than constantly, your generosity is valued more. This is why celebrities, top CEOs, and influential figures do not make themselves available to everyone. Their scarcity creates demand. People crave what they cannot easily have. How to apply this in life? Stop overgiving. Give your time and effort to those who truly appreciate it, not to those who expect it. Be selectively present. Show up when it matters, but don't be constantly available. Make people wonder when they will see you next. Master the art of saying no. Saying no increases the value of your yes. It forces people to respect your time and boundaries. Create an aura of mystery. Don't reveal everything about yourself at once. Let people earn the right to know more about you. Machiavelli's lesson is clear. Scarcity creates power, controlled presence builds authority, and strategic distance commands respect. Machiavelli was not against kindness, he was against weakness. There's a dangerous myth in the modern world that being kind is enough, that if you are good, honest, and giving, the world will reward you. But time and time again, reality proves otherwise. People take advantage of kindness when it's not backed by strength. They exploit honesty when it's not protected by strategy. And they ignore those who demand respect, but do nothing to enforce it. Machiavelli understood this. He didn't say be cruel, he said be strong. True power comes from balancing kindness with intelligence. Think about the most respected leaders. The most influential people in history, were they kind? Yes, but they were never weak. A wise leader rewards loyalty but does not hesitate to remove threats. A strong individual helps others, but never at the cost of their own survival. A powerful person chooses their battles instead of blindly trying to please everyone. Kindness is a choice, not an obligation. It must be given to those who deserve it, not to those who expect it. And it must always be balanced with the ability to say no, to walk away, and to protect your own interests. The ultimate question is, will you stay naive or take control? The world does not reward passive goodness. It rewards those who know when to be kind and when to be firm. So the question is, will you keep waiting for the world to treat you fairly? Or will you take control of your own fate? the choice is yours. If this video changed the way you think, don't stop here. Power is not just about knowing, it's about applying. Most people hear lessons like this, nod in agreement, and then go back to being the same as before. Don't let that be you. Starting today, observe the world differently. Notice how people respond to strength. See how those who are overly kind without strategy are taken for granted. And most importantly, start making real changes in your own life. You don't have to be ruthless, but you must be aware. You don't have to be cruel, but you must be in control. If you want respect, power, and influence, you must learn how to balance kindness with intelligence. And if you are ready to keep learning the hidden truths of power, psychology, and human nature, then subscribe now and turn on notifications. Because in a world that rewards the ruthless and the strategic, knowledge is your greatest weapon.